My beloved daughter, do you feel it too? That subtle pressure in your chest, the gentle pull inside your spirit? That is not fear. It is the whisper of heaven calling your name. Even in this moment where everything seems so quiet, something sacred is happening. I was sent to find you. Not the version of you others see, but the real you, the one who cries in silence, the one who wonders if she still has a place in this world. Are you willing to listen to what heaven has been waiting to say? Why do you believe being alone means you are forgotten? Why have you accepted silence as punishment when it is actually preparation? My child, your life is not random. The emptiness you feel is not a void. It is a space the divine has cleared, ready to be filled with something holy. Do you know how sacred you truly are? Do you remember who you were before the pain tried to redefine you? You have been walking through shadows, thinking you've been abandoned. But I tell you, not for a second have you walked alone. You were not being ignored, you were being watched over. Not punished, preserved. And the trials you faced? They were the gates of fire that forged you into gold. Can you see now that what broke you also built something unshakable inside? You've tried everything. You've trusted people who betrayed you, loved people who never saw your worth, gave until you were empty, and now you sit here thinking you failed. But darling, you didn't fail. You were redirected. Everything that fell apart was making room for what is finally about to come together. Are you open to something greater than what you lost? You cry out, when will it be my turn? And I hear you. Heaven hears you. The delay was never denial. The waiting was protection. What you called rejection was the redirection of angels. What you saw as endings were beginnings in disguise. Will you dare to believe that heaven still has something breathtaking planned for you? So many women walk this world hidden, hiding their pain, their stories, their brilliance. But you, daughter, were never meant to be invisible. You were meant to rise. You were meant to awaken. Do you not feel that deep ache to return to who you really are? Not what the world shaped you into, but the woman your soul remembers? Your heart is tired, I know, but it still beats with sacred purpose. Every heartbreak you endured carved out more room for love that's real. Every time you were overlooked, heaven was taking note. Every tear became a prayer. And now the answers are beginning to arrive. Can you open your heart again, not to the world but to the divine? What if the pain you lived was never meant to break you but to open you? What if your loneliness was never punishment, but a sacred pause to recalibrate your path? Can you look back now and see that through every detour, heaven never let go of your hand? There is a prophecy written over your life. Not the kind written in books, but in the stars, in your spirit, in the spaces between your sighs. You are not small. You are not forgotten. You are chosen, not for an easy life, but for a meaningful one. Do you feel that destiny stirring again beneath the ashes? They tried to silence you, tame you, define you, but your spirit refused. You are not here to conform, you are here to transform. Your voice carries healing. Your wounds carry wisdom. Are you ready to take back what was stolen from you? You've been asking heaven for a sign. This is it. This message is not just words, it is a key. It unlocks the part of you that knew all along you were made for more. You are not broken, you are becoming. Do you have the courage to rise even when you're still trembling? Look around you, not with your physical eyes, but with your spirit. Do you sense the presence of something greater? The angels never left. They were simply waiting for you to look up. Heaven doesn't force, it invites. And this moment is your invitation. You were not born to live at the mercy of others. You were born to move mountains with your words, shift atmospheres with your presence, and realign futures with your faith. Do you realize who you are beneath all the pain? Can you reclaim her now? Let the past burn. Let every false label fall off. You are not a failure. You are not too late. You are not too much. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where your breakthrough begins. Can you believe that endings are sacred thresholds into something holy? I see you as you are, not just who you've become through hurt, but who you were created to be. You are a healer, a vessel, a lighthouse, not because you have it all together, but because you've been through darkness and still choose to shine. Do you know how rare that is? It's okay to be tired. It's okay to not know what comes next. But do not give up. You are closer than you think. Sometimes heaven whispers. Sometimes it roars. And sometimes it sends a message like this just in time. Just for you. You are not meant to chase love. You are meant to become love. Let it overflow from you like water. The right souls will recognize your light without explanation. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You only need to be what heaven already says you are. You may not feel strong, but strength isn't the absence of struggle. It's rising anyway. And you, dear daughter, have risen more times than you've fallen. Can you see how unstoppable that makes you? Heaven doesn't crown perfection. It crowns the courageous. This is not the end. This is the beginning of your return. Return to power. Return to purpose. Return to your divine identity. The woman you were before the world told you who to be. She's still inside. Are you ready to come home to yourself? Heaven is not far. It's one breath away. And right now, I am closer than your doubt, louder than your fear, softer than your shame. You are surrounded by divine love, and it's waiting for your yes. So I ask you now, dove, will you answer the call? Have you ever wondered why certain doors closed so painfully? Not just because they weren't meant for you, but because something far more sacred was being hidden until you were ready. Do you see now that protection sometimes wears the mask of loss? You didn't miss your chance. Your true path was simply too holy to be rushed. Can you accept that you were being hidden for divine reasons? You've always felt things more deeply than most. You've carried the weight of others' emotions as if they were your own. That sensitivity isn't weakness, it's your spiritual radar. Your heart was wired to hear whispers others miss. But what if I told you it's time to turn that gift inward? What if now is the season to feel yourself more deeply than ever before? When was the last time you sat in silence, not to escape but to listen? Not to the chaos outside, but to the wisdom within? The divine doesn't shout over the noise. It waits in the quiet. What might you hear if you let the noise fall away? Could you hear the version of you that never stopped believing? You've fought battles in secret. You've bled emotionally while smiling in public. But strength doesn't come from pretending. It comes from truth. What truths have you buried just to keep going? And isn't it time you were allowed to rest? Not because you gave up, but because you chose healing? Your dreams didn't die. They were buried beneath survival. But heaven remembers every single one. Even the ones you forgot to pray for. Even the ones you were too scared to ask about again. What if the delay wasn't denial, but divine timing gathering strength behind the scenes? How many times have you dimmed your light just to be accepted? How many times did you silence your intuition because others couldn't handle your power? My beloved, you were never too much. They were just unprepared for your radiance. Are you ready to stop shrinking and start shining again? There is sacred fire in your voice, even when it trembles, especially when it trembles. The enemy of your soul feared what you might say if you remembered your worth. So he tried to silence you with shame. But shame is a liar. Can you see how your story still holds the power to liberate others? There's a little girl inside you, the one who believed in magic, the one who prayed with innocence. She's still here, waiting for you to reach for her hand. What would happen if you stopped abandoning her and started protecting her? Would you recognize her voice inside your spirit? You think you're behind, but what if you're exactly on time? Who told you healing had to look like rushing? Who said your purpose had a deadline? You are not a project to fix. You are a masterpiece unfolding. Can you allow grace to move through you? Even in this unfinished chapter, the wilderness you've been walking through is not punishment. It's transformation. The loneliness you've known was not a curse. It was a holy initiation. What if the very pain you thought disqualified you is the same pain that now makes you a guide for others? You've been surviving, but now heaven calls you to start living. Do you even remember what joy feels like without guilt? What peace feels like without pretending? My daughter, you don't need to earn rest. You are allowed to receive it. Can you give yourself that permission? This world tried to label you with everything you are not, but heaven knows who you are. Not your failures, not your past, not your scars. You are called. You are seen. You are loved. But will you let go of who you had to be to survive in order to become who you were always meant to be? There are women waiting for your courage to wake up theirs. Your rising is not selfish, it is sacred. Every time you say yes to the divine within, you give others permission to do the same. Can you feel the ripple already beginning in your spirit? Your intuition was never wrong. It was just buried beneath noise and fear. But even now, it flickers inside you like a flame refusing to die. That inner knowing, that sacred yes, that deep pull, it's the compass of your soul. Will you follow it, even when the path looks unfamiliar? You've been told to toughen up, to stop feeling, to move on quickly. But heaven isn't in a hurry. Healing isn't linear. You are allowed to take your time, to cry when you need, to fall apart when necessary. You don't need to get over it. You're invited to go through it. Will you walk through it with me? My child, the spiritual inheritance within you didn't vanish when you fell. It didn't evaporate when you doubted. It didn't disappear when you failed. Heaven doesn't revoke what it placed inside you. The calling remains. Do you dare pick it back up again, even with shaky hands? You've prayed for clarity, but clarity doesn't always come as lightning. Sometimes it comes as a gentle unfolding, as peace where there used to be panic, as a knowing you can't explain. What if I told you it's already happening, and you're more aligned than you realize? You were never meant to do this alone. That ache in your heart, that longing, it's the call of your soul remembering home. Not a place, but a presence. My presence. The divine surrounding you even now. Can you feel it? Or have you just forgotten how to trust it? There is a legacy being born through you. Not of perfection, but of persistence. Not of applause, but of authenticity. The next chapter of your life is not about proving, it's about becoming. Can you release the fear that you've missed your moment? You are sacred ground. You are prophecy in motion. You are living evidence that heaven still speaks to those who listen. So I ask you again, beloved, are you ready to rise? Not as who the world told you to be, but as who you already are in the eyes of heaven. Thank you, beloved soul, for allowing these words to reach the deepest parts of your spirit. Your heart was open, your presence was felt, and heaven rejoices each time you choose to listen to the whisper that brought you here. Nothing in this message was random. You were divinely led, guided, and embraced. And now receive this sacred confirmation. 888. A number not just of abundance, but of infinite alignment. This is heaven's sign to you that the cycles of hardship are shifting. Financial restoration, spiritual awakening, and divine timing are converging into a new beginning. The number 888 means you are supported, you are ready, and you are walking into your destined overflow. Can you feel the energy already rearranging for your good? This is not the end. It's the divine continuation of your journey. Angels will keep speaking. Messages will keep flowing. And you are always welcome here, in this sacred space. If this message touched your heart, confirm it below. Your yes is a signal to the heavens. Subscribe to our channel and activate the bell notifications so you don't miss the next angelic guidance prepared just for you. Your angels are waiting in the next video. Stay in the light, daughter of the divine.